Sweet. Okay. So I do want to first start off with I have listened to about half of Brigida's call. She did the like how to close, like how to connect with people and how to kind of close a sell. So I posted the recording in our team page today. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and watch it. She has a lot of great information and just things that have worked for her. And she's been doing this for a really long time and she's been really successful. So the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And I feel like she has a lot of great tips. So please take the time or, fit that into your schedule at some point so that you can get those tips. So I didn't have time. So Katie, maybe you have details, but I know the Team Cup is coming up in February. I don't know what date it starts. I'm assuming February 1st. It's usually the month of February. I don't know. Usually they do teams of 4 or teams of 5, and basically together you're trying to get the most Success Club points you can. And if everybody gets like Success Club 5, then you all get a prize, right? Like a good prize. If you get so many points total, then you get a certain prize. That's usually how it goes. I tried to look it up and it wasn't where I thought it was going to be. And so I didn't have time to kind of search around. So does anybody have details on that they want to share? Or
I think they're announcing all the stuff at Super Saturday. And then, because I think they said sign up starts on the 14th.
Okay.
And then it's for February.
Okay. So yeah, it's probably the same that it has been like in the past, but if you're new, be thinking of who you want on your team, and be ready to push. February is a fun month. I love Team Cup. It's so fun to work together as a team. Last year, we all hit Success Club 5 on my team. So we got all 3 prizes, which is, I've only done that twice in the 4.5 years that I've been a coach. And it's been super fun, like to get those prizes, because not everybody gets that 3rd prize, right? Because that's kind of the hardest one to get. So that's kind of fun to get that. And then they are also doing, if you don't have a ticket to Summit, they are going on sale January 12th, again for $155, which is a really, really good deal and probably the lowest it's going to be from here on out. And they are also doing a promotion if you have somebody sign up, like if you, what's the word? Like, I want to say recruit, but that's not really, like if you share with somebody and they sign up and give your name, then you get to go to like an exclusive workout, like you earn a workout that not everybody gets to go to. So that's going to be super fun. And maybe it's that new workout that we were maybe thinking was coming up. So that would be cool too, right? Okay. So tonight I wanted to talk about, is there any other announcements before I move on? I guess I should ask. We're good? Okay. So I wanted to talk about goals. I am a goal-oriented person. I really feel like if I don't have my goals written down, if I don't see them on a daily basis, then I kind of lose my vision and I kind of lose my traction. And so, I love to sit down I don't like necessarily sitting down and writing them out, but I like having them so that I can review them. So I know it's super important for me, and I feel like it's super important for everybody, especially when we read personal development and all of that stuff. They always say you need to have your goals written down, right? So hopefully you have a piece of paper or somewhere that you can write stuff down, whether it's in your phone, on your computer, or whatever. I'm going to ask 6 different questions. We're just going to kind of go through them real quick, and then we're going to kind of discuss, and I will share what has worked for me, because I've hit at least Success Club 10 every month since I've been a coach. I think I'm at like 53 months now, which is super, like, pretty cool, I think. So I've been very consistent with that. So I wanted to share kind of what's been working for me. And I really do feel like writing down my goals is one of them. At the beginning of every month, I always write down how many people I want to help. So anyway, first question. Are you ready? So if you are a brand new coach, this is kind of for the recording, but if you're a brand new coach, and I talk a lot about in these questions, like what about last year, asking about last year. So just think about like what has worked for you so far in your coaching journey. Okay. So what's the smartest thing you did last year as a coach? What's the smartest thing you did as a coach last year? Or during your coaching journey, I guess, if you've signed up within the last year. Maybe kind of think about that. I'll tell you I'll just go through the questions, and then while I'm talking, you can kind of be thinking, and maybe it will kind of give you some good ideas. Question number 2, what are 2 things you never want to have happen again? What are 2 things you never want to have happen again? We good? Number 3, identify 3 high stress moments. Identify 3 high stress moments, and what could have made those times a little bit easier? What would make those times a little bit easier? We good? Number 4, what are 4 things that went really, really well? What are 4 things that went really, really well, and why? Number 5, what are 5 things that can help you reach your goals? What are 5 things that can help you reach your goals? So like action items. What are 5 things that you can take action on to help you reach your goals? And number 6 is what made you feel the best? So basically in your whole coaching career, what is that one thing that stands out to you? What made you feel the best? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of run through them and kind of share my answers. If you want to share your answers with us, that's awesome. But I feel like when we reflect on the past, then we can learn from it and we can set new goals from what we've done in the past, from the good and the bad, right? Because if we can learn from the things that happened that we kind of wish wouldn't have, but if we learn from them, then we can make sure that those things don't happen again or aren't as derailing as maybe they were. Okay. So number 1, what's the smartest thing you did last year? So for me, the thing that stands out to me the very most, well, I have two. One is going on vacation with my husband, because from the very, very beginning, that was one of my dreams, was always to be able to go on the Success Club trip. And I've been able to go 3 years in a row. And that is just always like so worthwhile to me, because I get to spend that one-on-one time with him, but also we go because I earned it. Like, that's almost like, I feel like that's my gift to him. Does that make sense? For putting up with me and my craziness. And then the second one that's a little more business related, I guess, is I signed up for STEM Social, or 21 Social. That is the other one. I feel like that's the smartest thing that I did this last year, just because it's really helped me grow my followers. I feel like I'm not wasting time trying to follow and unfollow people. Like, I can just pay somebody to do that for me. And I feel like not always are they 100% quality people, but even people that I would follow and unfollow, like, it's hard to tell sometimes. So I know that it wouldn't be 100% if I were spending the time doing it. So for me, I feel like that is probably the smartest thing that I did, was invest in my business a little bit more, take that time away that I would spend following and unfollowing people, and building relationships, or, focusing on my team, or spending that time elsewhere. So does anybody want to share what their answer is for that? I know I didn't give you a whole lot of time to think about it, but. No? Okay. You don't have to. I just wanted to make sure everybody has some time that they can share if they want to. Okay. Number two things you never want to have happen again. I only came up with one so far, so I need to keep thinking, but it is lose rank. I feel like that's happened to probably most of us. And if it hasn't, like, seriously, you're a rock star, because I think it happens to most coaches. But that's a really hard feeling. And it's not because, like, for me, it wasn't because coaches let me down or whatever. Like, I always have to go back and reflect, like, what did I do wrong? Like, why wasn't I more secure with, that rank? Like, why didn't I have more coaches? Like, why wasn't I following or looking strategy wise? Like, why wasn't I, like, balanced a little bit more so that didn't happen? So for me, that was probably, that's the thing that I would never want to have happen again. Does anybody else want to share? They have one or two things. Okay. Just cut me off if you want to share anything, okay? Number three, 3 high stress moments and what could have made those easier. So I thought of 2. The months so Success Club 10 is always like my bare minimum goal for the month, obviously, and that's why I've hit it for 53 months in a row. But those months that I barely hit it, like by the skin of my teeth, on the very last day at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m., I guess my time, those are the days that stress me out, and I am so stressed all stinking month long. So that is a high stress moment for me, because I hate missing goals. That's a personality thing, whatever. But so that, and what can make it easier is definitely be proactive and try to work harder in the beginning of the month, or, it's not always going to happen perfect, but I feel like if I was a little more proactive at the beginning of the month, then that wouldn't happen. And then I think having an assistant would help me as well, even if it's just somebody to do some graphics, or somebody to help me with, just small little things, maybe my challenge groups or whatever. But I've never really been able to, like, decide where I want my assistant to do something and me, so I just do it all. And I don't know if that's necessarily the answer. But does anybody want to share theirs high stress moments? Number 4, what are 4 things that went really, really well? So for me, I did the 3-day refresh and I got really good results. And I feel like results, they tell the story, right? They tell the story where you were. So the first picture, of course, we're always embarrassed. We don't want people to know that we slipped up. We don't want them to know that we ate all that Halloween candy, whatever. But I was able to have amazing results. And so I've been able to actually share a before and after picture that aren't blurry that I had. Like my other before and after pictures were like from when I first started as a coach, and they were blurry and dark and I just couldn't really clean them up. So I didn't really have any good before and after pictures until this 3-day refresh. So that was huge for me. So I do highly recommend, if you don't have any good before and after pictures, do the 3-day refresh or do the ultimate reset or do something like really stick 100% to the 21-day fix, something so that you can get good before and after pictures, because I feel like that really tells a story and people can relate to that. The second one is consistency. I feel like I want to say consistency is like my magic power. I feel like I am one of the most consistent people there is. And
can stay dry at night.
And so 1 second. There we go. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So being consistent goes really, really well. January and February adding coaches last year was super successful for me. And then coach test groups. And as I was writing this down, I was like, oh my gosh, like the VIP coach test groups, I pushed those so much last year. And I feel like I didn't really push that as much I feel like I didn't push that as much this year. So far. So I need to remember to announce those like VIP coach test groups and stuff like that. Okay. Does anybody want to share what went really well for them? We all have them, right? We all have those good moments.
I'll share really quick. So I hosted my Mission Mom Bod group right after I had my baby, and I really, really loved that group because I got together other moms. Some were new moms like me, some had older kids, but we did this group together for 8 weeks. I poured my heart and soul into it. We all followed the same calendar. We shared our struggles and our successes, and it was really, really amazing to just see the difference in my postpartum journey this time as compared to the one last time that I was really, really struggling and felt lost. And the women that were in that group with me are still there with me and are still some of my best customers and just still staying strong with me. And so I really loved that I was able to use that as an opportunity to connect with other moms that were just struggling to find that, like, getting back into it. So, yeah.
I love that. It's so fun when you have those super engaging groups too, where everybody can connect. That's awesome. Okay. So number 5 things that can help you reach your goals. So this is like the action step part, right? Like, what are 5 action things that you can do to reach your goals? And we all know that it's consistency over time, right? So right now I am challenging my Transform 20 group. There is a free edition, I guess, of the Compound Effect on YouTube. So it's like an audio book that you can listen to. So I threw that into my Transform 20 book or group, and I challenged them all to read that. That was one of the very first books that I read as a new coach, and it really lit a fire under me. I think mostly because it was very basic and it was very simple. And I just knew that if I did the right things over and over and over again, good things would come, right? Just like eating healthy more than you're not eating healthy, you're going to be healthier, you're going to lose weight, or you're going to reach your goals, right? So the Compound Effect, if you haven't read that, that's a great book. But so with that being said, take action every single day, whether it's, we have those days where we don't want to work, or we have those days where we're just feeling too tired. But even if we just do one post that day, we're still taking action. We're still showing up. We're still letting people know that we're here. Maybe it's I'm not feeling it today post, and it's a real post, and that's okay. Those are actually the posts that we probably get the most comments on anyway, right? So those real posts are good. So take some kind of action every single day. For me, I wanted to show you, I got this as a prize. I think it was a prize in October, maybe November, I can't remember. Anyway, so it's this magnetic dream board. This was one of the prizes. So I did a dream board with my family, more like family goals and stuff like that. For me, I'm going to do, add a few more things. So I have this up here. This is my 5-star diamond certificate. So one of my goals is to get my 5-star back. And then another goal, it probably won't happen this year, but is to take my leaders on a super fun trip, like Brigida was able to. So those are 2 of mine on my dream board. I still have other dreams that I need to put up there, especially one specifically for this year. But that's another thing that I feel like I can do, because if I can see that dream board and know that that is something that I want to have happen, then I will be more willing to work a little bit harder, especially on those days that I don't want to, right? And the trackers. Okay, so these trackers, I have a feeling that they're going to change them up a little bit this weekend. And so I'm sure we will get a new link with these trackers. Charlene has been so amazing and posting them in our, the accountability post on Wednesday nights. And I have been filling mine out. I didn't take a picture of it, but I will. So these trackers, you guys, will keep you on track. So, hold off after this weekend. And if you don't have a link to these after this weekend, I will see if I can get a new link to the new ones, because I'm pretty sure they've switched a few things up, because we were kind of in the test mode, if you remember, after I came back from leadership. So I do highly, highly recommend, if you are wanting to grow your business, to fill this out on a daily basis, okay? Even if you don't fill in all the squares, but I promise with those squares, looking at you in the face, it makes you want to sit down for 5 or 10 more minutes and just kind of pound them out. So that keeps me accountable. There are also these other trackers that I just found today that I am super excited for. So one is, I'll start with so we've got a team builder. Can you see that? A team builder tracker. And it goes through all of these things that you should be doing for the year. And so it talks about your volume. It talks about how you're going to get 1 new Emerald coach in 2019. It talks about your team volume on your weak leg and on your strong leg, and Success Club, and all of that fun stuff. So this is an amazing tracker if your end of the year goal is to be team builder, okay? There's another one for team leader, which is the next step up. So this all goes along with the road to elite, right? So if your end of the year goal is to be team leader, there's a tracker here, and it tells you, okay, you need to get 2 new emeralds or 1 new diamond. And it tells you right here, you can fill in the squares. So I love that I can fill things in and see where I'm at and see what I need to work on, because then we can kind of change our focus as it goes along, right? Because I always feel like I'm like honed in on one thing and I do really well in that one thing, but it's these side things that I don't really pay attention to that I need to do more of, but I don't really know, if that makes sense. So, and then this one is the Elite and Premier Goal Guide. So again, if your goal is end of the year goal is Premier, which is a 1-star diamond, or if your goal is Elite, which is 5-star diamond, and then you need to fill all of this stuff out. So this is going to be my tracker, this Elite guide, because I really want to go Elite this year. So that's my goal. But I highly recommend, like, if you guys have an end goal, I can put these links when I post this video underneath in the comments so that you guys can go ahead and print your own out for whatever your end of the year goal is. But please, please, please don't sell yourself short, you guys, because I know you can do amazing things. I know we can do more than we think we can. We just have to really go for it, right? And believe in ourselves. Honestly, that's in the roundtable. All of the top coaches are like, it comes down to being consistent and believing in the products, believing in ourselves, believing that this all works. Like, those are the two things that we need to really focus on. So these trackers are going to be amazing. I've never seen these before, so I am so excited that they are here, because if I have some like pen and paper to write things down, it's going to be awesome. So daily trackers, obviously believe in myself, and like personal development, stuff like that. And then the things that made me feel the best or the most successful over this past year was when my coaches are successful. So Carly, you guys probably all saw that I posted that Carly hit Success Club 8 already in the month of January, which is amazing. She's only been a coach for 2.5 weeks. She's on it and she's doing awesome. And it just makes me so happy to see that she is accomplishing great things. Like, she is accomplishing her goals and doing what and the first time she talked to one of her customers, I don't even remember who it was, like, she kind of explained things, and then after they're like, okay, I'm in, because they had some objections, right? And she explained them through it. It was about Shakeology, and she's like, no, this is why you need this. And they were like, okay, I'm in. She was like, I really can do this. Like, that was a huge belief for her. And so we can do things that we don't think we can. We just need to try, right? Okay. So I was talking to Rebecca, and she was like, okay, well, I want you to share like some of your tips and tricks that have helped you stay consistent. And one of the things that she brought up was how I organize my posts, and so that I make sure that I'm covering every aspect of the business, but also family life and everything else as well. So I do Facebook and I do Instagram a little bit differently. But Instagram, I do in this order. I do a family post, and then I do either a workout post or a business post. And then I do a food post, because a lot of my followers are really into healthy eating or curious about healthy eating, right? And then I do like a motivational quote. And the motivational quote sometimes is more business oriented, sometimes it's more workout oriented, sometimes it's more family oriented. It just kind of depends. But I like to kind of mix those up between kind of humorous quotes, more serious quotes, right? So I can be a little more flexible with that. So those are the 4 things that I have that I talk about, and it's really helped me. Sometimes it is inconvenient, I will tell you this, like sometimes we go do something really fun as a family and I want to post about it right away, but I got to wait another day because I have 2 more posts before I can post about it, right? So it's not always super convenient, but I love that I have that pattern, because then it makes me talk about things that I probably wouldn't have otherwise, like the business, because sometimes I don't bring up the business. Actually, a lot of times I don't bring up the business as much as I should. So I like to talk about just my workouts, right? So talking about the coaching opportunity and stuff like that, I try to alternate those a little bit along with transformations and stuff like that. So I have to be a little more selective with what I post. So that's kind of my pattern that I do. And I do follow similar with Facebook, although I feel like my Facebook following, they're a little more, they like the recipes and they like more of the value. I think Instagram does too, but it's a little bit different, right? So I do more of like the engagement posts. If you want this recipe, comment below type of thing. I do that sometimes on Instagram, but I don't get near the engagement that I do on Facebook with stuff like that. So I think I just have to learn about all of that. I'm still learning about all of that Instagram stuff. So another way that I stay somewhat organized is like all my scripts are in the notes in my phone section, in my notes section, because I copy them and paste them and put them in my notes. As soon as I come across a good script, that's where they go so that I can scroll through that and find something. A lot of times, like I'll look through the memories on Facebook that pop up because I've been coaching for a few years now. And if I see a good post, I will copy the script and paste it into my notes so that I can use it later. There's no reason that we need to reinvent the wheel every single time, right? So if you have a good business post or a good challenger post or a good whatever post and you really like it and there was a lot of engagement, use it again. People don't remember. Use it again. And not everybody sees your post anyway, right? So be sure to do that because that will help you and save you a lot of time. And then a lot of my pictures, I will put a lot of my pictures into albums. So I have like a Transform 20 album, and that's where I have like all my transformation pictures from Transform 20. I have the recipes from there. I have all the pricing packages in that one album. Same with like my 3-day refreshes that I've done. All the food pictures that I've taken for 3-day refresh, my transformations, any whatever. Sometimes I'll keep the videos. A lot of time I'll do them live just because I feel like live is a little more personable. But I also do that with trips. So I have like Summit 2017 in an album. I have, because then it's easier for me to go back through and be like, okay, I want a group picture of my coaches. So instead of scrolling through all of my pictures, I can just go to Summit, look through, pick my favorite one, and I have it right there. So it saves me so much time rather than scrolling through. And normally I do this when I'm on an airplane or when I'm on a road trip and I'm not driving. That's when I organize my phone because it's something that I can do while I'm talking. I don't have to focus, and I can go through and I can throw out a bunch of pictures that I don't need anymore too, right? So those are my tips. That's all I have for you. We have 2 minutes left. Does anybody want to say anything? Have anything completely off of what we've been talking about? Oh, we have less than a minute now. So does anybody have anything they want to share? No, we're good? Okay, well, thank you guys for jumping on. I hope that was helpful. Set your goals. Please do yourself a dream board. I've always wished I would have before now, and it was always one of my intentions, but I promise if you do that and if you look every day, it will help you reach your goals so much faster. So anyway, thank you so much for jumping on. I will post the links to those trackers after I get this recording up and going. And oh, we need a picture. So fast. Ready? 1, 2. Beja, you want to turn your light on? She's like, I don't know where it is. I took one anyway, but there, now we can see you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. I'll post that and tag everybody I can. So thanks for jumping on, you guys. See ya.